The next technique we're going to take a look at is visually identifying relationships. It's also known as visual connections. And this technique is designed to really create some very innovative, way outside the box ideas. And it involves looking at some photographs and some pictures, sort of cleansing your palette, and then working on the challenge at hand. Now we have a challenge already, but I'm not even going to put it up here yet because I don't even want us to be thinking about that yet. So just take a look here. I have some pictures here. Just take a look at these pictures. What we want you to do is just kind of get away from the challenge, and this works great when you've been working on a challenge for a while and you just have kind of run out of ideas. Another thing that you can do to preface this is, instead of me showing you pictures like this, just send the group outside and just kind of have them look around and kind of cleanse their mental palette that way. And the technique works something like this. We have a worksheet, and it works nicely individually, but we're going to do it as a group so we can see how you can adapt it as a group. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you 3 pictures, and what we're after is I want your observations, your reactions, your thoughts about the pictures. So let's say, for example, and this is just an example, this picture right here. What are your observations, your thoughts, your feelings that you get from this picture? Just talk to me about it. Spikes, okay. Tickly, cold, great, crystal, good, delicate, wonderful. Okay, good. Let's do this one. And Sue, if you would hold this picture up, please. Yes, well, you're quite ready for it. Okay, so what I want is I'd like 4 observations from this picture here, and I'm just going to jot them down. What do we got? Travel, world. Sorry? I'm sorry. Okay, so you're friends. Okay, good. So my friends. Okay, and then one more. Time. Okay, time. Stretch me a little bit farther than that. Okay.
United Nations.
United Nations, great. Okay.
So he's having him really concentrate just on the
Beautiful.
photos and not
Okay,
be
great.
thinking
So let's take
about
this
any
one next.
kind
Okay.
of a challenge.
Now 4 observations from this one. Yeah, the asparagus. 4 observations from this one right there.
So he's basically replicating what's
Dinner.
on the sheet on the left side, the observations.
Gourmet.
Without doing the sheet. It's a more informal way.
Thanksgiving. Healthy. Okay, great. We'll stop with that. Okay, now we have one more here. That one is wonderful. 4 observations from that.
And Sue's playing the role of process buddy.
Lion King, beautiful.
You want the pictures big enough so people
Serene.
can see them.
Peaceful and change. Great. Okay, we'll stop with that. Now, what we've done is Val before gave us a challenge to work on, and you guys don't even know what the challenge is yet. And so what we want to do is really get far away from it. So on this form here, we have a statement of the challenge below. So I'm just going to put it on the bottom of the flip chart here. So Val, just tell us a little bit about your challenge, and then we're going to write it like a challenge statement. So what's your challenge?
Okay, my challenge is how to create a career cruise.
Okay.
And
give us a little background on that, would you?
It would, this cruise would have people that network with one another. And it's for someone that wants a career change, and they can meet someone that was in a career that they would possibly like, and they can talk to them about it, and even, you know, possibly switch places of where they live. So say someone is from London and someone is from the Ukraine, and they like what the other one is doing, they can switch and network. And
Beautiful. Okay, so your challenge statement is how to create a career cruise. All right. Now, what you can do is, oftentimes this is an individual technique, so you would respond to this on this worksheet here. But we're going to do this as a group. So you all have your Post-its. So Val's challenge statement is how to create a career cruise. What ideas come to mind when you think of travel, world, my friends, United Nations, for creating a career cruise? And give me some ideas around that. And I'm just going to kind of put them around here, and Sue will grab them for you as well. What do we got?
So this is a Divergent tool.
Great, super.
And the photo is out so that they can see it.
Okay, so what's the idea
Right,
of
so
taking a picture?
they could always look back at the photo.
Oh, idea?
Yeah, turn it into an idea. Good, yeah.
Sailing across different oceans.
Great, super.
Make it in the Caribbean.
Beautiful,
Have
okay.
Translators.
Okay, good.
Involve people from a variety of professions.
Okay. And once again, we're working on ideas on how to create a career cruise using ideas like travel, world, my friends, United Nations.
Theme
So
park.
reminds them of the statement.
course.
I'm sorry, say again, Bonnie?
Themed by professional categories.
Beautiful, good.
Allow friends to come.
Make
Okay.
it seasonal.
Praises the
Let's go to
process.
the next one. What ideas come to mind for how to create a career cruise from the idea of dinner, gourmet, Thanksgiving, health? And once again, remember, those are the pictures of the asparagus. What do we got?
Choose a different continent.
Okay,
Create healthy food patterns.
nice, good. Great.
Do it all inclusive.
Okay, a second, thank you.
Choose food from different countries.
Great.
I was going to say encourage international food.
I would sit down to
Okay.
dinner during that.
Have networking.
What was that again? Can
I
you?
would sit down to dinner during that work.
Very good.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
international dinner. Have
Okay.
gym classes.
All right, great.
Have cooking classes.
Oh, great, excellent. Okay, let's go to the next one. So we've got Lion King, serene, peaceful, and change. And remember, that was the picture once again of the fall scene. So what comes to mind for how to create a career cruise from Lion King, serene, peaceful, and change? What are some ideas there?
Go on a safari.
So it's a quick example you can see.
Provide meditation on the cruise.
Beautiful, great. I got them for you, Sue.
Make it relaxing.
Beautiful. Okay. Okay, good. That's two. Okay.
Allow pets on the cruise.
Okay.
Create a background of the jungle on the cruise.
Okay, great. Beautiful. Okay, we can stop with that. All right. So, Val, have we got some ideas here for how to create a career cruise now that you might be able to play with, work with a little bit more?
Yes.
Okay, great. So that's it. That's visual connections or visually identifying relationships. First thing that you do is try and get away from the situation, sort of cleanse the mental palette. We used a couple of pictures for that. Next thing we did was we had you do observations from those pictures. And we were talking about observations, experiences you've had with it, memories, smells, sights, anything. And we had these three here. You can use four if you like, but three works great. Then what we did was we made connections between these unrelated stimulus and this challenge statement, and we didn't even know what the challenge statement was at first. But the key to this is to make sure that you put the challenge statement last, because otherwise you're going to bias yourself by making connections, these imagery connections against the challenge statement. And that's visual connections, or visually identifying relationships. Good?
VIR, visually identifying relationships, very powerful tool for creating novel options.
Yes. And what we can see here is this is a more informal, quick application of it.
Right.
Where you just quickly show some of the pictures, get some of their observations, get them away from the problem, and then have the client come back and the client actually share data again.
Right.
So it wouldn't be the first time they've shared the data, but gave a little bit more and gave the problem statement.
Yeah, and sometimes I'll, especially with an untrained group, I'll warm them up on and use, for example, a VIR around how to improve a bathtub, just so that they understand how the tool works before moving on to the real client issue.
Yeah, because oftentimes they'll just kind of get a blank stare
Right.
if they're not a trained. I mean, this is a very trained group, so they had no problem instantly coming up with ideas because they're comfortable with
The
it.
deer in the headlight look.
Yeah. And you know, the worksheet, even for a group, works very well because the client can get a lot of different perspectives. And what I like about using a worksheet is that it's the silent piece again, where they can generate and be thinking, and then they share back after.
Yeah, and I've actually, if you find yourself working with a large group sometimes, you can even break them into pairs or triads. And so you and I might have a picture and we use a sheet and we work together to generate some options. And you could have multiple pairs going at once and then share out, and you get a lot of diversity.
Nice. I've also got a sheet that has the pictures already on them so that I can make it for as many people as I want. I give it 100 people, and each person sees that same picture already on the worksheet. I'll show you that.
A great idea. Perhaps you can share it.
Perhaps I could. One other thing I was going to say about that, and I can't remember what it was now. Yeah, well.
Well, the other thing is what kind of pictures.
Pictures are important.
Right.
We should talk about that.
We should. Mm-hmm. So, you'll notice the pictures, if you watch closely, they were free from advertising, but they were mostly food. There was the asparagus. There was nature. Sometimes we
Baby or something like
right.
that. Yeah.
People,
Yeah.
the world of machines, sometimes we do.
Yeah. And what I like to do is, if you go to the synectics worlds, the worlds of the abstract, the worlds of the machinery, the worlds of nature, and the worlds of people, food, whatever, then I'm looking for, obviously, we're looking to stretch people as far as we can stretch them for novelty. So the more, when the picture is very different than what you're working on, then that's great. So if I'm working on a people problem, then I might go to the world of abstract or machinery.
Right.
And if I'm working on a machinery, an engineering problem, then go to nature, go to people or something of the sort. But those pictures are important. Nothing controversial, nothing familiar to them, no Marilyn Monroe.
Right.
Things that are just would get them thinking.
Right. And as a new facilitator, it's important to really create a collection of good VIR pictures. There are some, VIR, let's say, cards out there that you can purchase from the market. But, but a lot of times, just scour the web for copyright-free.
Yes. Be careful. You want things that you can use legally.
Right.
And also, especially, remember Sidney Parnes used to do this a lot. I mean, he really would bring out the scents and the sounds and different things, and that works great as well.
Right. So you can use different sounds. You can do. I've seen other facilitators use scented candles, for example, and what observations or associations do people have with that, and use that as a connector. All these are different forms of force connections.
Of course, we've always talked with our students especially about being careful. You do not want anyone's allergies to come out. You want to make sure no one gets hurt. So err on the side of caution with all of that. No spraying different perfumes in the air or, no blow torches, things like that.
Yeah. So there you go. VIR, different applications, etc., and powerful tool.